Hello everyone, my name is Rohit Rahi and I'm part of the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure team. In this video, we are going to look into Oracle Cloud Infrastructure at a very high level. So first let's look at the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure global footprint. Currently, Oracle operates 16 regions globally. This includes 11 commercial regions and 5 government regions. You can see the regions listed here. In Americas, we have 4 regions. In Europe, we have 3 regions. In Asia, we have 4 regions. And then for government, we have 2 US government regions and 3 US DoD regions. Over the next 13 months or so, we are planning to operate 20 new regions, which includes 17 commercial regions and 3 US government regions. There are 3 main reasons why we are doing this. First, we really want to give our customers a truly geo-distributed footprint so they can run their application closest to their users. The second is for meeting regional compliance needs, and the third is for giving and providing customers an option for in-country disaster recovery solutions. So as planned, 11 of the countries or jurisdictions served by local cloud regions will have 2 or more regions to facilitate this in-country or in-jurisdiction disaster recovery capabilities. So as I was saying, if you see right here on the screen, Japan today we have 1 region, but in future, next 13 months or so, we'll have a second region to provide this in-country DR capability. The same thing holds for India, the same thing holds for Brazil, and many other countries throughout the world. So as we were explaining on the previous slide, by the end of next year, calendar year 2020, we will end up with 36 Oracle regions, and these regions are listed here along with some of the government regions. And one thing I didn't talk about is we also have an interconnect with Azure. So today we have interconnect with Azure in the US, in the Ashburn region and in the London region. Over the next 13 months or so, we are going to expand that in multiple places in the US and also in Asia and Europe, just to give customers an extra option to connect to Azure regions if they are running applications across Azure and Oracle Cloud Infrastructure in a truly multi-cloud fashion. So let's look at the core concepts of a region. A region is comprised of isolated, completely independent data centers called availability domains, and as you can see here, each region or traditional Oracle Cloud Infrastructure regions were comprised of 3 different availability domains. Now within an availability domains, we group hardware and infrastructure together into this construct called a fault domain. A fault domain is a failure isolation boundary within an availability domain. Each availability domain, as you can see here, has at least 3 fault domains. This number is well suited for hosting quorum-based replicated storage systems and consensus algorithms, which are some of the basic primitives of fault-tolerant systems. For example, if your replication system uses groups of 3 nodes, then place each node in separate fault domain. If your system uses larger groups, then distribute the nodes from each group as evenly as possible across all the fault domains in an AD. Now, I said traditional Oracle Cloud Infrastructure regions because the regions we have operated until now or opened until now, you can see here, always comprised of 3 availability domains. Now going forward, we have chosen to launch regions in new geographies with 1 AD. Why are we doing this? To increase our global reach quickly. So for any region with 1 AD, like these regions listed here, a second AD or region in the same country or geopolitical area will be made available within a year to enable further options for disaster recovery and data residency. Now let's look inside an AD for our the high scale high performance network. So as you can see here, we have a physical network like like any of the cloud providers. It's a non-oversubscribed network, so we don't run into things like noisy neighbor problems, and so it operates at a very high scale. You can see some numbers here, and we have predictable low latency and high speed interconnect between hosts in running if you have multiple availability domains within a region. Now we have made some drastic changes into how virtual networking is done over this physical network with Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. We call this capability off-box network virtualization. As the name implies, we put all the virtualization out into the network using custom silicon cards. So this includes all the storage and network I/O virtualization. So this gives us nearly zero performance overhead. Generally, this enables the next layer up, so we can take any physical form factor and plug that into our virtual network. So as you can see here, this is the basis that lets us do bare metal instances and engineer systems like Exadata and plug them into our environment without making any changes. If this was not the case, we would need to slap a hypervisor here on Exadata to make it work. We don't have to do it because of this capability called off-box network virtualization. It is a massive enabler for us to deliver the classes of services and meet our goals around performance and security. So until now, we were talking about the global footprint, our physical network and our virtual network. The thing which really makes the cloud shine are the infrastructure services which run on top of this global infrastructure. So as you can see here, we have a very broad and deep platform, starting with identity, different classes of networking, different capabilities of networking, different classes and form factors for compute, whether it's bare metal, whether it's virtual machines, whether it's dedicated host, a Kubernetes service, various classes of storage, local storage, block storage, file storage, object storage, archive storage, of course various flavors of databases, bare metal, virtual machines, Exadata, autonomous databases, serverless offerings, analytics offerings, a bunch of next layer services, bunch of security services, and so on and so forth. The whole idea is every cloud is becoming a platform, and you need these different services, a very broad set of services, and you also need a lot of functionality within each of these services. So this slide just talks about each of these various services at a very high level. Over the next few lectures, modules, we will be diving deep into each of these services, and you can see that each of them have pretty detailed, rich functionality. And if you go to this URL, you can see that we have something like 50 plus services today in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, and over the next 1 year or so, we have a very aggressive roadmap, and we are on a very fast release feature and service velocity. So what is our differentiation? Because this comes up all the time when we talk about Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So it's always good to think about differentiation on two dimensions, on the technical side and on the business side. So on the technical side, we already talked about performance. Enterprises require the scale and the performance, and we believe that Oracle Cloud Infrastructure is truly differentiated here. We talked about how we use the custom silicon cards to give you zero overhead through this off-box network virtualization. We were the first cloud to launch bare metal instances, and our compute service actually is run on top of this, so it gets all the benefits of the bare metal offering with like the best performance possible, etc. We use local NVMe storage with that to give you millions of IOPS, and again we'll talk about this in more details later. Everything storage wise on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure is SSD based, and we use the newer protocols like NVMe to give you really fast performance. There is no network, CPU or memory oversubscription anywhere, so this again ties very well to our performance story. Oracle Cloud Infrastructure is also battle tested. Some of our internal assets and offerings, like on particularly on the SaaS side, like NetSuite, are running on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. They are running on a massive scale, and so what you are using as customers has really been battle tested, whether it's operational activities, whether it's scale, whether it's resilience, whether it's reliability, all whether it's security. So we have sort of battle tested these ourselves by running our own apps on top of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Whether it comes to database options, whether it's bare metal, whether it's virtual machines, Exadata, rack, none of these exist anywhere else outside Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So if you are an Oracle customer, you're using some of these offerings today on premises, you have to look nowhere else, because you could run the same offerings and get a better price performance running on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. And again, the last point here, we are truly an enterprise cloud, because we are supporting all these enterprise apps which no other cloud supports today. On the business side, we have a very aggressive and predictable pricing. It's a very simple pricing. It's globally, we have the same pricing everywhere. The pricing model is easier to understand, and finally it's cheaper than some of the cloud providers out there. We have SLAs on performance, management, and availability. Most of the other cloud providers give you SLAs only on availability. We have 3 dimensions, because again, we believe customers need those different dimensions as well. We have some of the licensing innovations, like bring your own license. So you could, if you have licenses on-prem, you could just use them in the cloud, and things like universal cloud credits. And finally, this is not a small one, you get support through one org. It's a reality that most of the enterprises are going to run in a hybrid environment. So if you're running something on premises, you're running something in the cloud, you have one support model, whether it runs in the cloud or on-prem, and you could get support through one channel, one mechanism. So that's all for a quick introduction on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Here are some of the links on Always Free tier, some of the trainings, labs, and YouTube location where you can watch some of these videos. Please do join me if you have some time. Please do join me in the next lecture, where we talk about Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, identity and access management. Thank you.